recording. So let's change back to the very beginning. All right, I'm continuing. 1 minute to go. Okay, 1 minute to go. All right, let's begin. Hello, everyone. My name is Rex Wang. I'm the marketing and technical guy for Growatt Australia since 2017. And so obviously today's training will be a CPD training. So you will get a 10 elective CPD points after training. It's one thing. And also the whole 1 hour training will be divided into 2 parts. As the first half hour, I'll be the one who do the new products introduction, like new features, selling points for the solar designers. I give a brief introduction for the solar designer and the sales guy. And the second half hour will be our experienced service engineer, Brian. He will show the installation details for our all-in-one, our latest product for the all-in-one solution, which is very easy to install. And firstly, it's very easy to install. Secondly, it's customized for Australian market. Because now that all-in-one inverter has inbuilt smart meter. That means no need to install smart meter. And secondly, it has inbuilt DCS laders between inverter and batteries. Cables, everything is inbuilt. And also not to mention about the Shine One, the new Wi-Fi dongle, the new requirement for emergency backstop in Victoria and South Australia. South Australia, it's called a flexible export limit. In Victoria, it's called an emergency backstop mechanism. And I just got information from CEC today that New South Wales will also bring in this kind of emergency backstop very soon. All right, let's start with our training. So obviously, first thing first, I like to introduce some very exciting products we made it for Australia. Some of them are already CEC approved. Some of them are still under reviewing by CEC. So we hope we get them approved very soon. And there's 2 things you should know. Today, there will be this year, there will be 2 major updates for the requirement AS4777.2 2024. That's one in this August. And the second one is AS60947.3. That's for DCS later. It will happen on this November. So I'm pretty sure this year is a very busy year for everyone. All right. Let's start with the company introduction. Growatt. Growatt was founded in 2011, but actually at the very first year, our company was founded in China. We started our business in Australia. So obviously we opened our Australia branch back in 2011. Since then, with the support of the Australian market, we became a global market. We became a global company. One of the biggest characters, or one of the biggest advantages for Growatt is we are an R&D-driven company. As you can tell right now, we have more than 4,400 employees. 25% of these employees are R&D engineers. This is one thing. Secondly, our founder, Mr. Ding himself, is an inverter R&D engineer with more than 10 years experiences before he started at Growatt. So obviously, as I said, our companies really cared about first we listen to the end users, we listen to the local installers, we listen to the local inspectors and local councils. Based on this kind of information, we develop products based on the feedback and requirements from Australian locals. All right, second, this is some achievements we have accomplished globally. So obviously this is the year 2023, and in 2024, we also achieved such an EUPD reward in Australia as well, with the top brand of the PV inverters. And but our headquarters didn't update it yet, but I'm pretty sure that we won the 2024 EUPD in Australia region. All right, secondly, this is a new manufacturing center will be ready at the end of this year. And we already have the large manufacturing center in Huizhou, but we are going to have the new one in Shenzhen as well end of this year. As a product introduction. So obviously for this one, this year, we have some special solutions for Australia. At the left side is our single phase hybrid solution. And it will work, all these hybrid inverters will work with our ALP low voltage batteries. And on the right side is our battery ready solution. For the battery ready inverters, and it's always work with our high voltage batteries. Let's start with our low voltage. Let's start with our start with the left side first. So obviously our SPH-HUB inverters, sorry. Our SPH-HUB inverters is all in one design. And first, it has inbuilt everything. We had to input an ATS, the automatic transfer switch inside of the inverter already. It's a UPS level. All the transition time will be within the 15 milliseconds. That's the UPS level of the ATS. Secondly, we even inbuilt a smart meter inside of this all-in-one solution. That means as long as the installation is within 10 meters from the installation location to the main switch, no need to install a smart meter anymore. You can use an internal inbuilt smart meter. All the installer had to do is just use the CT at the main switch. That's it. We are pretty sure we will. I experienced the installer can finish the all-in-one installation in less than 1 hour time. We inbuilt a smart meter, we inbuilt the ATS, and also we inbuilt the DC isolators between invert cables and DC isolators between inverter and batteries. Based on Australia's regulation, the low voltage batteries, you must have the external DC isolators outside of the batteries. If you have the inbuilt isolator inside of the low voltage battery, you still need the external DC isolator between the inverter and the battery. We already inbuilt this one in this all-in-one. And when the installation is done, so many of the installers is really worried about one thing is when the installation is done, they do not, because it's already end of that day. They are not 100% sure if the installation is right or wrong. By this kind of the concept, this kind of the situation, we have developed one software functionality, what we call a one-click diagnosis. Once the installation is done, all you have to do is click the button on the screen of the inverters, and then screen of the inverter itself will tell you the installation is right or wrong. It will tell you if the CT meter's direction is right or not. And also it will tell you the cabling between the different batteries is right or wrong. So obviously this will significantly reduce installation time. I can see some of the questions popping out. I will answer the questions after all the trainings. Me and Brian will answer all the questions after training. Okay. And secondly, if some of the clients, they do not want all-in-one, we will have another simplified version of the all-in-one inverter, what we call the SPH-HU. The only differences between all-in-HUB and HU is HU does not have the inbuilt smart meter, and also HU does not have the inbuilt DC isolator and cables between inverter and the battery. So you can consider that it's just a simplified version of the HUB all-in-one. And also based on the requirement, we've been asked for the last couple of years, we've been asked many times for the installers and the users when you guys get to bring the 3 MPPT's larger single phase hybrid inverter in Australia. So this year we are going to list as a SPM 8 to 10 kilowatt single phase hybrid inverter. And we already prepared the certificate, and we will submit it to CEC very soon. So hopefully we'll get it approved in 3 months time. And it's a single phase. It got 3 MPPTs. Each MPPT's got 2 strings of input. Definitely large enough for the single phase large house. As I said, our hybrid solution, we always use low voltage batteries. For the low voltage battery, we use ALP batteries. It's already been approved in Australia since 2023. And it's a 5 kilowatt hour. Each of the this battery is a 5 kilowatt hour. The usable capacity is 90%. And also we provide 10 years warranty of these batteries. And secondly, at the end of this 10 years warranty, we promise that 90% of the SOC can be used. That means it meet the requirement for the New South Wales battery bay. So these ALP batteries and another high voltage APX battery all are approved in New South Wales for the battery rebate, and Victoria for the interest-free battery rebate loan. So do not worry, just install them, and we already listed them with all the Australian rebate. That's one thing. And secondly, I like to talk about our battery-ready solutions. For Growatt battery-ready solution, we brought this concept back to 2018. Sorry, 2018. Yeah, 2018, 7 years ago. So obviously, as from this year, from this August, most of the Growatt inverters will have the battery function. I think the only one inverter does not has a battery function. All the rest have the battery function. That means you can sell the Growatt inverter as a normal on-grid inverter to your client. And when the time is right, or for example, after the client have used the solar system for a couple of months, you can give them a call, say if you want to add a battery or not. If they want to add a battery, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is put the battery underneath of the battery-ready inverters. Cables, not for high voltage batteries, no need for the DC isolator. For low voltage one, you will still need a DC isolator. But as I said, this is our battery-ready concept. It's very simple because now it will dig the potential of your clients. I mean, for the solar energy and energy storage energy. For single phase, we have min 2.5 to 6 TRXH2. And this inverter will take the place of our most popular one, min T 2.5 to 6 TR-X. That means from this August, we will not renew our min 2.5 to 6 TR-X anymore. From this August, all you can buy from a single phase is only this option, min 2.5 to 6 TR-XH2. I will talk about the update for this XH2 battery ready a little bit later. And also for three phase, we already have the very mature MOD 3 to 10 kilowatt TRXH. And for the AC coupled, we also have the 3 to 10K TRXA three phase AC coupled solution. And also we are going to bring the very latest. This one's already been approved by CC for a couple months already, and I think it will be approved this month or next. I'm pretty sure this one, the MID 10 to 13 kilowatt TL3-XH. It says 10 to 13 kilowatt. It's actually start from 9.99 kVA to 29.9 kVA. So obviously, for this 9.99, that means no need to install the GSD, the actual hardware in Queensland anymore. And this is one thing. Secondly, because now this one has 3 MPPTs. Three phase got 3 MPPTs. Each MPPT got 2 strings of input. The battery work with the MOD 3-phase battery ready solutions, APX S1 and S2. And also the APS S0, the single phase one, the single phase S0 battery will work with the single phase, min TR-XH2. Well, I understand it probably seems a little bit confused about APX S0, S1, S2. I can tell that the battery module we use for S0, S1, S2 are exactly the same. They're exactly the same 5 kilowatt hour battery module. The only difference is on top of this one, the BDC box, DC-DC booster or DC-DC or DC-DC booster is different. It's different. So obviously for S0, the charge and discharge capacity is 5 kilowatt. S1 is 7.5 kilowatt charge and discharge. That means discharge, that means for off-grid load. for off-grid radio, 7.5 kilowatt, and S2 is 15 kilowatt. That's the only difference. Only the difference of charge and discharge capacity. All right. And Brian will talk about this all-in-one with detail. I just give you guys a roughly introduction. So obviously for this one, so you can tell on top is the inverters. On top is the inverter module. And also this little box, what do we call it? Connection box or cable box or like a wear box, what do we call it? And it's not a battery. It has inbuilt DC isolator. Sorry, inbuilt DC isolator for the between the inverter and low voltage batteries. And secondly, it has the inbuilt smart meter. As long as this all-in-one installed within 10 meters of the main switch, no need for you to install smart meter at the main switch anymore. All you need to have to do is you use a CD clip at the main switch, and it probably take you like 2 or 3 minutes to finish the installation of the CT, of the smart meter. It will save the heaps of the time of the installers. I understand installers times the pressures. Not everybody want to do 2 sites at a day. So obviously this is this all-in-one we can guarantee is the definite easiest installation, easiest solutions for the installation. And second, this is some key features, some advantages, the difference between our old SPH-HUB. So at first, our SPH-HUB used to be like a 4 kilowatt load capacity. This one got 6 kilowatt. And secondly, it is flexible with the minimum 1 ALP batteries, maximum 8 of the ALP batteries, which give you like a 40 kilowatt hour of the battery capacity. And third, it has an inbuilt smart bypass function. Because now the problem right now, the most critical problem for the inverters with inbuilt ATS or with EPS function is in case, hypothetically say, if the inverter is dead, like a 40 or under maintenance, there will be no power supply for the critical, for the EPS load. Based on this one, we developed 2 types of solution. First one is the software part. If our inverter realizes it is going to have the big problems, it will automatically switch back by itself internally. It will switch back from the EPS power support from the EPS port to the AC grid. This is the software part. And secondly, we provide the manual Schneider, Australia approved manual Schneider DC isolators. Manual Schneider isolators at the main switch. If the end users realize that its inverters under maintenance of 40, they can just use a manual switch at the main switch and switch it back to get the EPS port, EPS load powered by the AC grid. And third biggest advantage update for this ones. Before our inverter used to be like input current used to be like a 13.5 MB. This time we have updated this one to 60 MB, and the short circuited current is 22 MB. So that means 99% of the panels in the market can be used with the inverter, and also even including some of the very large commercial one. And the fourth question is STC. In Australia, because now I know they reduced the STC at the beginning of this year, and but for this, as long as there's a battery on site, there's no limitation for the 1.33 times of the DC oversizing anymore. As long as there's a battery on site, you can do at least 20% of the DC oversizing to claim the 20% STC. But you must have the battery. If you do not have battery, that's a PV system. If you have battery on site, that's an energy storage system. Or the CER will approve your STC application as long as you have battery on site. All right, another one, as I mentioned before, is a very big problem for not a big problem. It became more and more popular in Australia. That's CSIP AOS, dynamic export. You can call it a dynamic export limit, or flexible export limit, or emergency backstop mechanism. So it is already mandatory in South Australia and Victoria. And I think they're going to be mandatory this year in Western Australia and New South Wales as well. So obviously for Growatt, no need for extra hardware. No need to install extra hardware, and the HUBs already have the inbuilt smart meter. That means no need for extra smart meter anymore either. So yeah, we already passed. We all you had to do, we changed our Wi-Fi, new Wi-Fi dongle. I will talk about that a little bit later of this presentation. And also we have inbuilt smart meter. So do not worry about this dynamic export limit or flexible export limit. And another one is IP rating. This inverter IP65, perfect for outdoor use, but you still have to avoid expose it at a direct sunshine array. The battery is even better, IP66. And yeah, another one is it had an inbuilt smart meter. This I emphasize many times. Smart meter installation can be really tricky for installers. And we put the smart meter inside of this HUB's all-in-one solution so that it will significantly reduce the installation time. Smart bypass is the installation already introduced, so I'll keep going. All right, another version, as I said, the simplified version of the HUB inverter, what we call it SPH-HU. This one you can just consider the SPH-HUB. We take out the wear box, take off the wear box and take off the inbuilt smart meter. Only difference is it doesn't have the inbuilt smart meter. It doesn't have the decelerators and this between inverter and low voltage batteries. All the rest are exactly the same. This is some updates from our SPH-HU to our SPH-UP. And there's something I want to emphasize is because now this year, CZ has a major update for AS 4777.2 2020 AMD 2024. That means it will become mandatory since this August. So obviously, a lot of our Growatt inverters will no longer be renewed, and we will use these new inverters to replace them. So SPH-HU will replace SPH-UP. All right, this is a larger, the larger single-phase hybrid, the very exciting solutions we prepare for Australia. This one, unfortunately, this is not ready yet. I probably need another 3 months, but it's a kind of it's kind of our solutions for this bigger single phase 3 MPPTs, 3 directions of the installation solution. So obviously this one has like 3 MPPT, 6 strings input. That means installers can do 3 directions of the roof, and also each direction they can put 2 strings of the PV inverters. And we inbuilt ATS as well. And this one's input current is also very large, 60 MA. It's definitely big enough for most of the panels. All right, ALP batteries. ALP batteries, as I mentioned before, this one is IP66 and 5 kilowatt hour modular. Minimum you can only have 1, maximum you can have 8 of them together. So this one is super safe because now we use LFP chemistry inside. We have been using LFP chemistry lithium batteries back to 2018 or 2019. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's 2018. So for the last 7 years, we only use LFP batteries, lithium battery. It's super safe, super reliable. And also these batteries is eligible for the New South Wales and Victoria Battery Bay. That meet the standard for the battery standard AS NAS 5139, and you can put it either on the wall or you can put it on the ground. If you want to put it on the wall, you have to order the special wall mounting bracket. This is our battery ready solution. As I mentioned before, so I just make a quick one for this one. SPH-2 will take place of the min TRX. So please do remember, from this August, there will be no more min TRX anymore. All will be replaced by TRXH. This one can achieve the emergency backstop or flexible export limit with just the CT, only CT, no need for smart meter. And also with the CT, it can achieve export limited emergency backstop. And even for the batteries, you can just use the CT. for the battery installation, no need for smart meter either. So just use city. It's definitely the most economical way solution for the emergency backstop in Victoria and South Australia, which will be, I think it will become mandatory this year for New South Wales and Western Australia as well. It is compatible with the APX S0 battery. Mid-XH, I mentioned before, got a 3 MPPT, 6 strings input. Input current comes to 18 MP. So that means 1% of the panels on the market, even the larger panels, can work with this mid-XH inverter. And this one is not ready yet. I think it'll be ready, BCC approval by end of this month or next month, latest. All right. Growatt not just only has the commercial residential one, we also have the commercial one. And this WIT 50 to 100K hybrid inverter, and it got 10 MPPTs. The battery we only had one size. So obviously the battery size is only 209 kilowatt hour. The inverter can be paralleled together if on-grid mode, and it can be paralleled 6 of them together to give you 600 kilowatt load capacity, and it's an off-grid load, and it can take like parallel 3 of them together to give you 300 kilowatt load capacity, off-grid load capacity. Very ready, as I said before. So from this August, most of the Growatt inverter will work with batteries. So probably only one does not, but the rest will all have the battery function. So obviously the concept pretty simple. Whenever you go to your client, you said, okay, you can just buy with a fairly reasonable price, use this inverter as just an on-grid inverter. And whenever you think the time is right, hypothetically, if the lithium battery price dropped another 50%, well, the ROI return of your investment can be achieved within 4 or 5 years without any government rebate. So it's definitely another big cell booster for the cell boosting for the batteries. So just why don't you just take this place? Because now if you sell this inverter to your client, you can only use these batteries. Eventually they will come to you. And another for the 200% of the STC application. I understand many of the installers they worry because of they said if you this oversizing is too high, like 200%, at least 200%, they worry probably CER will not approve their STC application. But I can ensure that it's not a problem as long as there's a battery on site. If there's no battery on site, it's only solar system. Solar system CER only allow like a 133% DC oversizing. But as long as the battery on site, it's no longer a solar system, it became an energy storage system. For energy storage system, the CER does not have the limitation for that. It's all based on the statement of the manufacturer. So our inverters, like say 50 kilowatt inverter, it can charge the battery at 15 kilowatt and the feedback grid by 15 kilowatt simultaneously. That means it can at least handle 30 kilowatt of the panel of the solar panels of 200% DC oversizing. All right, this is some the material list. This is more like the when you do the quotation. And I want to emphasize is our battery ready solution does not have inbuilt DC oscillator. Does not have the inbuilt ATS. So if your client want a backup mode, backup functionality, they always had to buy the backup box. Single phase, what do we call a mean XH backup box? 3 phases for the MID's SYN backup box. This was this is for the 3 phase larger system. All right, APX batteries. APX batteries is a high voltage battery. Firstly, it is a high voltage batteries. Unlike our older high voltage battery, you cannot, after installation for 6 months, you cannot update the system anymore. But for this APX, you can mix the use older battery modular and a new battery modular within, doesn't matter how long the time difference is. So I would hypothetically say if the client installed 12 months ago with 1 battery, right now he want to add 2. It's fine, just to give them 2 battery modulars, put it underneath of this box, it will work. And also our our most Growatt of some many of the installers or many of the end users ask about how our inverter work. So obviously for the default mode, what do we had for load first? As long as you install a hybrid inverter or battery inverter with batteries, and they will treat they will put the family load as a highest priority. So obviously, if there PV power or the power or the energy from the batteries will be discharged to support your family load. This is default mode it's already built in each of the Growatt inverter, hybrid inverter, battery ready inverter. But right now, because of VPP is more and more popular, and there is sometimes you will need the like to charge the battery as the highest priority. Now, some of the clients they probably they worry about the bad weather or probably VPP platform. They have the negative wholesale price. Then at this time, you can charge the battery with not only low cost, but with VPP you can even make money. Then this is some battery first mode. It's very easy to set. So this one will put the battery as the highest priority, either be charged by the solar or be charged by the AC grid. Another mode is grid first. For some of the side, some of the clients, they probably has very high feed-in tariff. So obviously they wanted to make money. And also for VPP, they probably at a certain period of time, the wholesale electricity price is very high. They want to feed back to the grid as highest priority. So obviously the battery will be discharged, the PV power generated by the inverter will also be sent back to the grid to make as much cash as possible. All right, there's some other products we have. So this is our power station. You can this is for camping, for fishing, for outdoor use, and also EV chargers. We only have AC EV charger right now. We do not have DC one. So obviously it's single phase, three phase. It can work with some mode, what we call a PV linking mode. To activate this PV linking mode, that means only use solar power to charge your batteries. You must install the EV charger, AC EV charger, and also one actual smart meter to activate this one. All right, for mounting, this year we brought the Shine One X2. This little dongle is very smart. It can talk with the utility server, DNSP server by itself. And also that means with this one, you can achieve the CSIP. You can pass the test for the flexible export limit or emergency backstop. And also it has a Wi-Fi, it has Bluetooth, and most important part, it has the internet cable. So hypothetically, if the Wi-Fi router is too far away from the inverter, you can use the internet cable to get in the connection. All right, this is our Phone app, and this is our service. Our service is actually 7 days a week, not 5 days a week. It's 7 days a week, and you can still get the technical support during the weekends when you guys do the installation. All right, that's probably everything for today. Brian, I think right now it's your turn. Give me a second. I will change the host to Brian.
Thank you, Rex. Thank you.
Give me a second. I will change the host to you. Yeah. And Brian's a very experienced engineer, and he knows everything about our all-in-one, and he will show you guys the details of the installation of our all-in-one. Thank you.
Hey guys, let me know if you can't hear me. My name is Brian. I'm one of the tech support engineer here at Growatt Australia. Thank you for coming to our live demonstration training session for our HUB series inverters today. I noticed that there are a few questions that has been raised on the group. We're going to have a Q&A at the end of the session, so just wait until the end, or if you have any questions, just feel free to ask on the question portal. We'll try to answer at the end of the session, okay? So I'm just going to get started. All right, so let me know if you can't hear me or if you can't see my screen. Yep, so welcome to our session today. So let's just break it down very simple in a simple tense. So what's a SPH-HUB inverter? It's basically very simple. It's just a hub inverter and a few ALP batteries chucked into one system, and there we go, all in one system. So let's break down with the nomenclature. I know some of you guys may have questions in regards to how do we name our system and what does each of these terms mean. So the full name of this whole series is called SPH 3 to 6 kilowatt TL-hub. So SP stands for single phase, and then the H here refers to it's a hybrid. Now 3 to 6K means 3,000 to 6,000 is the range of power range that for the specific models. In our sense, we have 3,000, 3,600, 4,000, 4,600, 5,000, and 6,000. So there will be 6 different models in this series according to their power range. Now TL here stands for it is a transformerless design, and HB means it's a hybrid utility box. HU means it's hybrid utility. And the reason that we choose this B is because this system is only compatible with the ALP Growatt batteries. It can't work with other type of Growatt batteries. So here at the top of the section, we have the inverter as well as the connection box. So the top is where the inverter is located on, and then in the middle part is the connection box where all the connections between the inverter and the batteries, the grid, as well as the connection to the load happens. That connection box is where all the magic fits into one system. So for this inverter itself, as mentioned by Rex earlier, there is a UPS function. It has up to 2 DC and AC ratio. It also has a maximum of 16 ampere PV input per stream, a maximum of 6 kilowatt backup power. It also have a special smart bypass function to ensure it supplies critical loads in the event of an emergency. It also has a scalable system configuration and a friendly VPP interface. So as I mentioned earlier, this series includes 6 of the following models: the 3,000, 3,600, 4,000, 4,600, 4,600, 5,000, and 6,000. The rough dimensions is for the inverter as well as the connection box is 692 millimeters, and the width is 690 meters. So at the bottom of the section, we have the ALP battery system. As mentioned by Rex earlier, it has the IP66 as well as for the protective design. It has a flexible capacity between 5 kilowatt to 40 kilowatt, depending on how many batteries were installed. It has up to 0.25 C charge and discharge rate. It's one of the most safest lithium battery in the industry. And it's also comes with the easiest design with a sketchy design. And we also provide remote firmware upgrade in a case where the firmware is out to date. So what is the maximum storage here? And how many stacks of batteries can we use in one stack? So it can go all the way up to 8 ALP batteries, which means that the maximum storage here, 8 times 5 kilowatt per hour, is 40 kilowatt per hour. And note that if the customers has more than 5 ALP batteries, they will have to split them into 2 different stacks. So each ALP 5L batteries, this L stands for is for low voltage, consists of 100 ampere hour cells, which forms around 51.2 voltage per battery module and 16 serial connection. So the dimensions for the batteries are roughly around 395 millimeters in length in terms of height and 690 millimeters in terms of width. So the system application scenario here, if and only if one system is installed. Now at the top, we have the inverter, which will connects to the PV solar panels, as you can see from the left here. The connection box will take care of the load. So the AC connection, the AC grid connection will connect to the load. It's located at the bottom of the inverter. And then on the other side, it has an inbuilt data logger. When I say inbuilt, it comes along with it. Of course, this data logger is still exchangeable in the case that it got damages. And then at the bottom, this is where the battery stacks are placed together. You can see that they are placed in stacks. It's just like building Legos. So you put them on top of each other. And the only thing that is external to this whole system is the CT. So you need to put the CT and clamp it onto the grid connection to read the data from the grid. Now, I noticed that a couple of you have asked if we can install in a multi-mod system, which is one of the most common practice in the industry these days. Yes, the answer is yes. Our SPH-HUB is designed to integrate with an existing system. So in this system, we'll call it AC coupling. So if there is an existing single phase inverter, it could be Growatt or it could be something else, some other third-party brand. Our system is designed to be able to integrate with the existing system. Let's say the customers already has an inverter and then they came across our hub system, they're interested, yes, they could add this into their existing system. But this also depends on what kind of inverter they have installed inside. But if they were to include this as an AC coupling, they will need to install another smart meter in this case. I'll walk through this later in my slides. So when it comes to installing our inverters, these are the most important tools for the installers or electricians out there. They need to have, most importantly, is to have the multimeter as well as the marker to mark the space that this whole system is going to be installed. So one of the key things when it comes to installations and to avoid future operation issues or maintenance issue is to make sure that this whole system is installed in a place that so that it can avoid direct contact with sunlight or raindrops. Because there are a lot of cases where this system is installed outside and there are no protective cover. So it could, that this system is running 24 hours with the batteries included. When it runs non-stop and getting direct exposure to sunlight, especially when it's very hot outside, it's gonna cause damages in the long term. Next thing is that when you purchase this system, it's gonna come with the inverter, the connection box, the base, as well as the batteries, and then there's a wall brackets, as well as the ALP 5 batteries parallel cable. So one special thing that we designed for the system is the trim cover. We have this trim cover all on the left and right side of the inverter system, so that this provides an enclosure which will hide all the unnecessary cables, so that it provides a plain look from the outside. So here, it's important to make sure that when you receive the system, the inverter, the box that came with it, check everything, because if one or two bracket is missing, it's gonna cause the whole system to be unable to be fully installed. So make sure that everything is intact, especially these smaller items. Now, it's very important to make sure that the system is installed with an installation angle of 90 degrees against the ground. This is to allow enough space as well as to make sure that the system is well aligned to the surface. In addition to that, enough room must be provided for this installation to happen. Make sure to find a space where there are enough spaces. If the customer has more than 4 batteries, they must have at least 300 millimeters between this inverter system as well as the batteries. And depending on the load itself, make sure that this is installed on the ground that can withstand up to 300 kilograms of weight. So between these systems, we can see that they are stacked together with screws, so that when it comes to, let's say, if there is a contact with the inverter, it wouldn't make them fall down. So this bracket are secured tightly with the screw. So make sure that these screws are put into assembled with them together, and make sure that this batteries, the inverter, and the connection box is also not only screwed together but also screwed to the wall, and make sure that they are closely attached to avoid any potential impact or forces externally. Oh yeah, before I move to the next one, if you have this installation is for ground level, you can also install the inverter not directly from the ground, but if you want to install them from the ground, be sure to include the base plate at the bottom to avoid direct contact between the batteries as well as the ground. So batteries installation, like I mentioned earlier, 4 batteries can be stacked together, and then it will provide up to 2 stacks of batteries in a maximum range. And these batteries can be connected in parallel. So one important thing to make sure or to check, it's like a checklist before the installer leaves the site or when these batteries are connected, is make sure that you actually click the connection wire or the connection plug before you leave the premises. Because there are instances where these batteries wouldn't click together. It might causes potential harm to these batteries, especially in the cases of a communication error. So make sure that all these things were checked tightly before you leave the premise. So the important question here, so why are we doing this? Why SPH-HUB? First and foremost, because it makes things easier when it comes to installation. There is a lot of complicated, like unknown errors when it comes to installing a separate, like an inverter and batteries that is bought separately. And we also have issues with smart meter as well. So SPH-HUB is designed to minimize all these installation errors on site, so that when it comes to installing the batteries, the smart meter as well as the inverter, everything comes in. It's like building Legos, yeah? Just put things, stack them together and connect them with the lines. It will make things much more direct and easier. Second thing, when things are easier to install, it means that it's easier to check for errors. And it also means that there will be less time spent on the side. And when you spend less time on one side, that means you can save money as well. So this will also improve the overall efficiency of the system. And since this come in an all-in-one package, it also minimizes the time for the customer to select the items, because when you sell things separately, they have to choose, oh, which item should I use? When it comes all in one package, it's either I choose 1 batteries or I choose 8 batteries. It makes the the process of decision making definitely easier. And all in all, it also supports DC and AC coupling. And this whole system also comes with a 10 years warranty. So one key thing here when it comes to the installation, if the CT is within 10 meters from the inverter, uh, connect the external CT directly to input meter 1 port, which is in the connection box. So note there's one important thing here. If the CT is within 10 meters, but it is too small or too short, you might need an extension. So note that if an extension is required, you have to move to option B, which means that whenever an extension is required, even though it's within 10 meters, you still need an external smart meter to be installed in the system. And when that happens, you have to select meter 1 or CT1 port. So make sure that no extension can be added, even if the CT is very short. Okay. And in the cases where there is an existing inverter, this whole hub system will be acting as an AC coupling application. You also have to use an extra smart meter, and in this case, connect it to the 485-2 port instead of the meter 1 CT port. So one special things or features about this system is that it provided one-click diagnostics process. Now, when it comes to troubleshooting, a complicated system like ours can take a lot of time to check what is actually the issue, what's causing the issue to occur. Because there's batteries, there's connections, there's inverters, there's meter as well. One-click diagnostics process is to save time and to find out what the problem is instantly. So it's gonna do 5 kind of checks. It's gonna check the battery connections. Are these batteries connected with each other, connected with the inverter? And it's gonna check the CD connection. Is the CD reading the required data from the grid? Is the direction from the CD correct? And the third thing is the battery discharging and charging normally? Is there any issues with the battery is charging? And the fourth thing is the meter communication. Is the meter working? Is the meter reading the required values? And last thing is the AC connection from the grid. Is there any issues coming from the AC connections, or everything is fine? So to start this process, it's very simple. Not only installer can check, but also the end user itself, because all you have to do is go to the inverter and then press on the user interface. So let's say if I am the user and I just want to check if my inverter is working well, just want to check the health. I can go to the inverter and just hold the escape button for more than 3 seconds. It's going to enter the diagnose fun page. Fun doesn't mean having fun, it actually means function. So the diagnose function page, and then press OK. It will start the process. And then it's going to go through all the 5 processes that I was speaking earlier. And once everything has been checked and done, if the inverter passed, if everything is working okay, the inverter will show as normal, assemble passed. So once this is done, just press escape twice and complete the test. Now, in the special cases where this system is installed as a AC coupling system, the only thing that you need to do before you running the diagnosis test is to change the 485 mode to meter 2. This is because an external meter has been installed, so we need to change the settings before we proceed to the check. So to change the settings is a very straightforward process. Press OK for more than 3 seconds to enter the settings page. In the settings, just click down continuously until you find the RS485 setting, and then press OK, and then press OK again to go to the meter 2 section. in the port, find meter 2, and then press OK, and then press escape. So that's basically how you set the system if it is under an AC coupling system. Don't worry, I'll go through that later. So as mentioned by Rex earlier, the monitoring interface here relies on our ShineFornet, which is the same for all our previous systems. So the question we're asking here, why choose Growatt? First of all, we're one of the most economical friendly company in the industry. Secondly, we have one of the most, we have excellent after-sales services as well as from our Google review. We also have reliable quality from our system. Right now, I will demonstrate a live demo. After that, we'll move on to the Q&A and answer a few of the questions such as Ken has raised. Yeah, just give me a moment. Hey guys, let me know if you can't hear me. So I'm Brian. So this is our SPH-HUB inverter system. As you can see that we have one battery included. So to have this system, you must install at least one battery out of the 8 batteries mentioned earlier. Now at the top we have the inverter. So this is the inverter, and then in the middle, this is the connection box. This is where all the connections happen, and then underneath the connection box is the batteries. So if you have more batteries, this keeps continuing stacking them like playing with Legos. And then at the very bottom, since this is a ground level installation, there is a base plate here to avoid direct contact between the batteries as well as the ground. Now you can see that one thing special about these features is that we have provided trim covers on the side. If there's no trim cover, then all the wires will be exposed here. Now, the the cover here will enclose the wires so that it provides a very smooth visualization. It looks very clean when it is installed with the wall. So when it comes to troubleshooting, the first thing we'll do is open up the cover to check the cables. Now there is one note here. So if you want to check the cable, the first thing you have to do is remove the cover. So to remove the cover, you notice that there are screws located on the side. For demonstration purposes, we have removed the screws for you. So first thing you do, remove the screws. And one important thing to know is how to remove the cover. Now, when this cover has been screwed tightly, people might get confused. How do we remove this? Because it's really secure. Now, remove the screw completely. After that, pull this out and then remove it gently. So it's very straightforward. Here you can see that the data logo. In this case, this is the Shine Wireless X2 has been installed on the side. Same thing here for the cover. Remove it slowly, and then take it out. So I am going to show you how to connect this online. Now you notice that this is one of our latest data logger, the Shine Wireless X2. This system has been designed to make our life, especially the installation life, easier as well when it comes to getting this online. Now take out your phone. And then open the scan page. Now scan the QR code. Okay. So before we proceed, see the button. Make sure that it is solid blue. It is flashing blue right now. So we're just gonna press the reset button here. Once you press the button, it's gonna be solid now. So once this turns solid, go back to your phone, and then press yes. So you see that it has two options here: Wi-Fi connection as well as LAN connection. Click on Wi-Fi. So now it's going to scan for the device. Now make sure that your Bluetooth is turned on before you proceed here. And after that, find your Wi-Fi name. In this case, it will be the customer's home Wi-Fi, and then enter the password. And then after that, just click Configure Immediate. That's it. It's a very straightforward process. If the Wi-Fi is a eligible Wi-Fi, such as 2.4 gigahertz, it will make the process really quickly. So the app is now connecting to the data logger. It successfully talks to the data logger. The data logger will now talk to the router, and the router will try to connect this whole system to the server. So all we have to do is to give approximately like 2 to 5 minutes. Oh yeah, it's done now. Okay, so return immediately, and that's it. The inverter is online. So that's how we connect it. So the second thing I'm going to show you here is Now I'm going to remove the other cover. So on the left side, we have the bottom, the PV switches. Okay. So here, I'm going to show you where the inbuilt meter is located. So this is where the inbuilt meter is located. It will come by as default inside. So remember, as I said on my slides earlier, if the CD is within 10 meters, you don't need an external one. If the CD is more than 10 meters from the inverter, you need an external meter. And if you're using this as an SE coupling system, there's already a single phase inverter on the side. You will also need an external smart meter as well. So here I will show you how to change the settings if you're using AC coupling system. So now just randomly click. Okay, now we have the screen here. Now just long press OK. It's gonna bring you to the selection page. So this is the selection page. Yeah, we're just gonna continue, keep the down, press the down arrow. And now we're gonna try to find RS485 setting. Now click OK. So this is the port. Now, if this is an AC coupling system with an extra smart meter installed, you need to change this and then find meter 2 here and then press OK. And right? Okay. So after you change that, you can run the diagnosis test. So let's say I am the end user. I wanted to check if my inverter is working normally. Now, in our installation here for this demo, our batteries cannot discharge properly. So this inverter can detect that this battery is not working fine because it can't discharge. So to run the diagnosis test, press escape more than 3 seconds, around 1, 2, 3. A sample test appears, and then press OK to run it. So right now it's gonna start with the BMS communication test. So it's gonna test whether the batteries is communicating, and now it's gonna test the meter. Now it's gonna move on to battery discharge and discharge test. Here, the battery charge and discharge test turns out to be malfunction. That means that there is an issue with this battery. It's not discharging properly. And now it's moving on to the CT test. And then it shows that there is one battery, which is our case here. So we click OK, and then it shows that assemble failed because there is an error with the batteries. It can't be discharged. And then press OK again. It will show you the error, which is battery charge or discharge failed. Now this means that the diagnosis process has been completed. Just press escape, and it will go back to the main page. And that's it. So right now, I will end my live demo, and I'll move back to my slides. So this is the part where we have our Q&A session. Let me just check the questions that I have received. 1 second. So I noticed that there was a few questions raised earlier. I can't see them now, but based on what I remember is that I think one of you guys were asking that what is the meter used in this case? It's a STM-120 meter. And then can you use this in a multiple system? Yes, you can install it if there is an existing system, especially if it's a single phase. Do you guys have any questions for me? Feel free to type it out on Zoom so that I can look into it.
The survey. Right. I answered most of the questions, and do not forget the survey page. And
yeah. 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 So I think Ken now here has a question. Can we have 2 system and a combined export limit? Yes, you can have 2 system. And yes, you can have a combined limit as well. Yeah, hope that answers your questions. So I think that's all for today. I am going to move on to the next session, which is our survey. So I hope you guys enjoy our live demo presentations today. Could you scan the QR code while I answer a few of the other questions here? And once we'll stay here for a few minutes to see if there's any other additional questions.
So today's training, we will generate the CPD certification for each of you and send you an email with today's trainings record and also the material we use for today's training and also the CPD certificate next week, because now I will go back to Australia next week. And yeah, definitely next week. Yeah, thanks. This is our Australia Facebook installer group, and you are more than welcome to scan the QR code to join our group. Our service engineers will answer your technical questions in that group as well. So hopefully, hope this will help. And one thing you should know is our service number 1-800-476 is 7 days a week.
So feel free to join our Facebook group if you haven't. I noticed there are a couple of questions asking how does the system works. As mentioned from the slides earlier, it works with a single phase inverter, and the required product is to add an extra smart meter. I would like to answer more of the questions, but it is getting late now, so unfortunately, I will have to close the session. Once again, I thank you all for coming. If you do have any questions in the future, feel free to send us an inquiry or send us an email. We'll try our best to answer it. You guys have a good day.